Be sure to subscribe for your chance to win a custom leather playmat when we hit 2,500 subscribers. Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. We are now playing live over Discord with Andraj, one of our locals here, squaring off against Socrates all the way from the land down under, actually playing from Australia, as far away as you can possibly get. But despite all of the craziness of this year, somehow the Legacy community now growing even closer, playing with players all around the world. We have a force of will stopping this Elvish Reclaimer. And I had thought that Andraj was going to be on Food Chain. This is looking like some type of lands deck with Mox Diamond and Elvish Reclaimer. And he's going to have to pass the turn. Socrates looking to improve on a deck that's been featured on the channel many times, Cephalid Breakfast. It's actually running with some of the changes that I've mused about on the air, including Prismatic Vista and kind of the more solid mana base that gives you. It's a slight trade-off in terms of speed. Likely worth it. Haven't got to test it myself. Thrilled to see him actually running with it. And we've got that basic island and basic plains that are going to enable Stoneforge Mystic to actually activate if need be. However, it's elked. Oko has shown up. Oko down to 2. And another Stoneforge Mystic. And he can only answer so many of these. Oh, and was there no search? Are both equipment now in Socrates' hand already? Ooh, an Abrupt Decay takes out the Stoneforge Mystic. Another +2 makes a food. And we've seen this dance many times. Oko now down to 1. And when it's just an elk on board, Oko will eventually stabilize against it. Makes a food, then makes a 3/3. And the Shuko being put down, in danger of being elked. That might be acceptable. This is an interesting gambit. Do you make an elk out of that Shuko and potentially actually get overrun by a herd of elk? Or do you make your own elk to try and hold things off? And yeah, another 3/3 is granted to Socrates. This might get out of hand. The fear of the combo. Andra's handing a pretty decent clock here and able to clear Oko. Man, I feel like if they have it, they have it in that situation. It's just bad for you no matter what. Another Oko comes down. All right, this is making some sense. Able to upgrade a food to an elk. And now a Dark Depths. So this is like a 4-color lands, perhaps? Bug lands? More to worry about now from both sides. And from here, these elk are not going to be enough to clear the Oko. He will eventually he will stabilize against this. multiple Okos can just be backbreaking like that. Nomad and Core. Keeping the threat of the combo going. And crop rotation. Dangerous for multiple reasons here. I mean, crop rotation can grab a Bajuka Bog to potentially break up the Cephalid Breakfast combo, but it also can just grab a Thespian Stage. A Glacial Chasm shows up, but that is not going to protect the Oko. And the Dark Confidant is also life loss. So this Glacial Chasm just going to hold off the Elks for now. Bob finds a friend. And Glacial Chasm. Andrade actually going to let that go. Letting that Glacial Chasm go already. I gotta feel like that may have been well, we've got a pair of Dark Confidants and a Maze of Ith. These Elk are going to be turning sideways. Brainstorm continuing to dig for Socrates, and pretty much at any time he can assemble the combo. It's so easy, just 2 cards and 3 mana total. Cephalid Illusionist with either Shuko or Nomad in core. At this point, probably just Nomad, as the Shuko's already out of the equation. 5 mana, hard casting Force is an option. Ponder continues to dig. 2 basic islands, a basic plains, a basic swamp, and a Cavern of Souls. Stoneforge Mystic. Just shuffles. Is the rest of that Ponder not worth keeping around? And those Elk turning sideways. Now, I didn't actually see the Maze of Ith tap there. I don't know if it was just verbally declared or if Andrade actually just didn't activate it. Thespian Stage arrives and threatens to make a 20/20. During the end step, we've got a Brainstorm. And at this point, Narcomoeba starts to become a relevant Magic card, as it can step in the way of a 20/20 and buy additional turns. Also, Batterskull will not be an out here. Usually it is, but that Maze of Ith will prevent the life gain. Usually if you can gain some life versus Dark Depths, turning it into a 2-turn combination really makes a massive difference. We've got another Brainstorm. The Socrates continues to try and find the combo, as this Elk plan is likely out of gas. Sending with everything. One of them gets mazed. 4 damage comes in. And then a Stoneforge Mystic shuffles. We've got a 20/20 during the end step. Represented by... I'm actually not sure what Pokemon card that is. Let me know if you recognize it. 2 damage from the Dark Confidant is not enough That was a close one. I gotta say, I feel like those Dark Confidants could have just double blocked a 3/3 Elk and made that much, much less dramatic. The 2020 likely to be enough, as Andrade could have possibly died during his upkeep. Yeah, Socrates actually put me on to 7-Point Highlander. Was not familiar with it. I'd heard of Canadian Highlander in the peripheral. I don't know that I'd actually heard of the Australian variant, but I really love the idea of it. The 60-card format. It's vintage, but as a Highlander format, and there's a point system where, like, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, Time Vault, and Black Lotus are worth 4 points. So you have a 7-point deck. So right off the bat, you're not going to have Ancestral and Lotus in the same deck. And while I haven't actually finished building a deck, I just love the idea. I'm enjoying the process of trying to figure out what I'm going to play. And, you know, it kind of feels like vintage back in the day for the kind of the first few months that I discovered it. So it's like when I discovered vintage and I started working towards it, built a deck, then kind of started to understand how good power was, ended up getting my first Mox Emerald, which I've talked about on the channel a couple of times with the winnings from some poker. Ended up getting a Mox Emerald and a Calzone to kick things off for power, and then traded in a playset of foil Yavimaya Coasts to cover the bulk of a Ancestral Recall, Black Lotus, and Mox Sapphire. But it was like actually a decision which cards to get. You know, like getting Ancestral and Lotus and Sapphire before the other Moxes, before Time Walk. Like trade-offs were made, and you'd still play in the tournaments, even though you didn't have an optimal deck. And there were no proxies back then, so like if you didn't own a Time Walk, you just didn't own a Time Walk, which was great. And the players that were going to be winning made the investment in themselves. Like I just went out and got the full set of power eventually. Was within a year, just got all of the cards that I needed to play because I was playing in tournaments and I was winning a lot. So it was easily going to pay for itself. And I just loved that era of Magic. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like, all right, I can't have everything I possibly want for the deck. So what do I play with? And that is a really fun thought exercise. And I'll definitely be doing that. Kind of fits in with the play mats on board here too. We got New England Old School. And then Socrates with his local league as well. We've got the turn 1 Aether Vial. Can be very difficult to stop the combo when they're sitting there with an Aether Vial on board. Even if you get rid of all of their lands, this deck's still more than capable of taking you out. Doesn't need any mana for the Dread Return portion. And as far as getting the creatures on board, Aether Vial can handle it all by itself. Unfortunately for Socrates, Andrade has an Abrupt Decay. We'll see if that ends up being too much of a problem. That quick shuffle feels like he's looking for mana and didn't see it. But we'll see as this unfolds. And that was the case. Has to pass the turn. Bayou into Exploration. 4 cards in hand. And we're going to have a Force of Will pitching Narcomoeba into Thespian Stage. And now a Dark Confidant. So we've seen bugs so far. I don't know if we've got red or white in there. A hard cast Leyline of the Void. Well, Socrates is going to have his work cut out for him here. Leyline is beatable with Cephalid Breakfast, especially post-board. You can have multiple copies of Thassa's Oracle. Basically, you're just going to need to get to the point where you mill yourself out with either a Thassa's Oracle trigger on the stack, or mill yourself out and then put in a Thassa's Oracle. Either way, depending on the situation. And Stoneforge grabbing Batterskull. So looking for the Batterskull kill here currently. And a Once Upon a Time. Takes a look. And it finds the Field of the Dead. That card can actually be very difficult for Control to beat. Exploration. Field of the Dead and Mazavith. Dark Confidant happy to trade with a Stoneforge. And Socrates needs to decline the trade this time. Batterskull can come in during the end step. Ooh, a crop rotation may signal that the end is very near. Socrates is going to be able to make a germ token, but again with this Mazavith, it's going to be very difficult to gain any life. Tropical Island. And Mox Diamond is tapping. For a crop rotation, sacrificing an excess Thespian stage. That's grabbing a Dark Depths, Merit Lage, being made main phase. And it looks like there's just simply not enough mana. Even if Socrates had it, there would not be enough mana here. Let's see if he's got the Swords to Plowshares to take out this Merit Lage. Anything shy of that looks like it'll probably end up being lethal. And he does have the swords. Oh, that's going to set Andrade back significantly. Losing 2 of his lands. Buying both players a lot of time dragging this out. The 20 life means that Dark Confidant not likely to do anything other than provide a nice steady stream of cards, even with 2 of them. It's going to be difficult. You know, the average converted mana cost in that deck is, I mean, is it even 1? It's pretty low. More than half the deck is mana or lands. Mox Diamonds. There's some Okos in there now. It's got to be a really low converted mana cost. This is going to take a while for Dark Confidant to actually be much of a problem. So the path forward here is going to look like Thassa's Oracle finding its way into Socrates' hand and milling out. He's got 13 life, but a Batterskull on board. Aether Vial. Mazavith is stopping that germ from gaining life. But the germ is also going to stop any type of attacks on the ground. It's going to require like 8 damage just to have an effective attack. And we've got a third Dark Confidant. I believe we've got zombies starting to accumulate here. Is that what's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe Field of the Dead is starting to shake loose. I think we got a Porygon Z and a Nocturne? I don't actually know the new Pokemon very well. I might have to start playing some Pokemon, though. The new decks actually look super busted, which I enjoy. I like it when games actually have like an incredibly high power level. We've got Once Upon a Time, Verdant Catacombs, and a Rishadan-port. So 3 cards revealed, just 2 life lost. I am expecting some deliveries today. We'll see if we're interrupted. With 13 life, it is going to take a bit. Ghost Quarter. Taking out Underground Sea. So 14 damage with 7 guys. One of them gets blocked. That's down to 12. And then gaining 4 is a net of 8. Maze of Ith ends up becoming relevant here. You may end up mazing your own creature to prevent the life gain. Brainstorm. So Socrates is going to need Cephalid Illusionist, along with a 1-mana Enabler and the Thassa's Oracle. We'll see if he can make this happen. Brainstorm's a heck of a magic card. Basic Plains. Surgical. Bajuka Bog Rishadan-port, again, less than 1 damage per Dark Confidant. More bodies. And yeah, this is definitely getting more dangerous. I believe 1 more body will be lethal. Stoneforge Mystic can block if necessary. He's not very good at it, but it can at least trade with a Dark Confidant here. It won't just be a chump block. During the end step, we've got the Cephalid Illusionist. Untap. During the upkeep, we're going to tap down a couple of lands. Oh no. Tapping the black and the blue. And it's going to be a Limdul's Vault in response. Oh no. The white is actually the more dangerous thing here. That's one of the benefits of playing a Fringe combo deck. The white mana actually enables Nomad and Core. I don't know if Andrade realizes he can actually lose from here with a Thassa's Oracle. Oh, Helms ×2 revealed with the Leyline in play. Does Socrates have the Thassa's Oracle in hand? Leyline Helm out of the sideboard. Thassa's, or Shuko being found. And now Leyline Helm. And he does not have the Thassa's Oracle in hand. A crazy game. Danger at every turn, and ultimately lands gets there. That would have been wild to see if Socrates had that Thassa's Oracle. Andrade goes for it and is rewarded for his boldness. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.